Okay, so can you please tell us your first and last name and spell them?
My first name is Brayden, last name is Johnson, BraydenJohnsson.
What are your preferred pronouns?
My preferred pronouns are he, him.
Do we have permission to use your footage in our documentary?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So can you tell us how your life was like pre-COVID?
I went to like some sporting events. I was on sports teams in my school. I went to like summer camps, clubs, you know, what normal kids did.
What grade were you in?
I was in grade 8 when it started.
How and when did you first hear about COVID?
I heard about it on the news in the February before it happened, and I kind of thought it was a joke at first. I didn't think it was going to get as big as serious as it did.
Did you actually know what COVID was?
I knew some people were getting sick by it, but not really.
So what were your assumptions?
It was nothing. It was just going to pass by. It was something in Wuhan. It was very centralized. And, yeah.
So like, what was your reaction when schools actually shut down?
At that point, I'd kind of got the idea that we weren't going back to school, and it had already impacted enough of the world to cause further issues.
How did your daily schedule change in school?
Well, we got off at the March break, and then we did online work from the rest of that, which wasn't really submitted.
Can you tell us can you describe a typical day in like online school?
Look what's in the classroom, look what's posted, and if there's nothing new, then just a free day, I guess.
How did you feel about self-learning? Did you find that beneficial for you? Did you find that it was more difficult to study and that you were even interested in, let alone ones that you had a harder time learning?
It was very hard to stay on topic because you're at home, you have all your distractions around you, and it's the last thing you want to be doing when you're at home.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Were your grades impacted at all?
Yes, a lot.
Good or a bad?
Bad way.
Why do you think so?
I developed a lot of procrastination over the time.
What teaching style, do you remember when we had different schedules? So we had like a full day with one class and
Yeah.
2 classes. Which one kind of like stood out to you, either in a positive or negative?
I had gym class for second period, and that was a lot to have all day.
Interesting. So, do you mind elaborating on that a little bit? You chose a lot of like physical
Yeah.
credits for yourself and then had to take them at home.
Well, it was in school, so the gym periods were all day. We were in the gym, running, playing sports all day. So we were tired at the end of the day. Yeah.
How would you say the teachers handled it?
I think the teachers did the best that they could, but they kind of struggled along like the rest of us with the learning curve, going to online, new learning and teaching styles, and.
What would you say is the worst class to have online?
One of the worst is probably math, because you need to be with your teacher learning. If you have questions, it's hard to ask through online. It's hard to get your full point over.
Were you involved in any sports?
Yes, I was on volleyball and softball teams.
Can you tell us how it was affected?
They were all shut down, and that was the last year. It was all school run, so I didn't get any more after that.
Did you stay in contact with any friends during the lockdown?
Yes, I did.
How?
Through Discord, mostly.
So you wouldn't see them?
No. Until at least the summer, I wasn't going out with people. We were kind of like on lockdown, following the rules, staying online, 0 contact, and then further into the summer, then I started to explore.
How would you say COVID impacted your social life?
It made it a little bit harder to meet people at first. Just more of a social barrier, I guess.
Did your relationship with anyone change because of COVID?
I wouldn't say too heavily. Some people that I knew didn't have devices, so it was really hard to contact them, but now we're still friends, so yeah.
How did you feel during the lockdown?
I felt like it was never gonna end. I just wanted it to be over.
Would you say it impacted like your mental health?
That's hard to say, honestly. I
Like,
haven't noticed.
Did you find that like Discord and like online alternatives for spending time with people socializing was sufficient for you, or did you feel that anything was missing in those interactions?
It did feel like there was something missing, just being there in person, going outside. Yeah, yeah.
what did you do to cope isolation?
A lot of video games. I picked up some new hobbies, stuff that you can do online, like coding. I've picked up coding, and I started a little bit of music development, but then I stopped, and yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the restrictions finally being lifted?
I like it. It's back to normal. It feels better.
Would you say you feel like it's normal again?
For the most part, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think COVID will ever be over?
I don't think it will. I think it'll end up being something like the flu or the cold.
What is a mistake that was made in the way we handled COVID?
I don't know. That's a tough one, actually.
You can like skip it. or
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, we'll skip.
So what do you feel was handled particularly well?
Yeah, that's
For you
tough
personally.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a grand like sociological statement or anything.
Yeah.
Just any feelings that you have on
Like
it.
masking, whatever. Hygiene.
The 2-meter distance and like the lines at stores were better, in some aspects, but others, yeah, not so much.
Would you say it changed before COVID started and then now?
Yes, I would.
How?
I'm a lot more okay with being alone, spending my time alone, rather than with people. But I still do enjoy being with people a lot more now.
How does it feel being a senior in high school going into what is essentially your first year or full year of high school?
It feels like I'm still in grade 8, honestly. Struggling through high school, but yeah.
Well, what were your thoughts on people who thought COVID was fake, even throughout the whole pandemic?
I thought that it was blown a little bit out of proportions. Some people took it a lot too far, a lot further than it needed to be taken. Yeah, I think that they should have listened to scientists more, listened to the facts.
How would you know what to trust? Because there was a lot of information going around.
Mainly listening to what the Ontario government had to say, local restrictions and laws, and yeah.
What do you think will happen in the near future with COVID?
I'm not too sure, but maybe further development on vaccines, like a regular vaccine, which I've heard might happen. So, yeah.
What lingering effects do you think COVID will leave in its wake?
I feel like a lot of the economical issues that it brought on will forever last.
How has COVID altered your view of your own future?
I don't know,
You
honestly.
can
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
Are you the same person? Like, are you gonna leave the same way you did?
Probably. I don't know. I don't think that it would have changed my future too much now that it's kind of settled down.
What did you learn from your experience that you wish everyone knew with COVID?
Or even about yourself, like something that having the time to reflect and
Yeah.
internalize and focus on your own development.
Yeah. Geez, that's stumping me. I don't know why.
That's okay.
Yeah. Um,
You want to
yeah, sure, yeah.
So what are your hopes for the future?
To keep the COVID numbers down, and hopefully we'll stay in the way that we're going, and no restrictions will come back into place.
Could you say that again, but starting with my hopes for the future are?
My hopes for the future are that none of the restrictions come back into place, and that we keep going forward, and yeah,
Any more questions?
I have one.
mess that up, please.
So you have like your friends. During the lockdown, did you ever go out with friends or what?
Yeah, during closer to the summer of the lockdown, then yes, I did start to go out with friends more when the weather got nicer, and we would stay in small groups, so we weren't breaking the social bubble rule, but yeah.
Did you catch COVID at all?
No, I did not. It went through my household a couple times, but I never tested positive for it.
Okay. So good. Thank you very much. Yay.
Thank you.
You